Nora posted one Instagram story from a date night. 2 drinks on the table, 1 empty chair across from her, no face, no tag, no boyfriend name. And then the profile visit time repeated. 10:42 p.m., 10:48 p.m., 10:53 p.m. The strange part was not that someone looked at her Instagram. People look, people get curious. That alone does not mean anything. The strange part was that the same kind of profile visit window had appeared the last time Grant refused to be seen with her online. Nora had been dating Grant for 9 months, not 3 weeks, not some messy Hinge thing where nobody owed anyone clarity. 9 months. In private, he was easy. He cooked at her apartment, kept a toothbrush in her bathroom, knew exactly how she took coffee, and sent voice notes when he was walking home. In public, he became careful. He did not want couple photos. He did not want tags. He did not want captions that made things obvious. Whenever Nora asked why, Grant had the same answer: "I just don't like putting relationships online." That sounded mature the first time. It sounded convenient the 10th time, because Grant was not private about everything. He posted concerts, he posted his dog, he posted group dinners, he posted a blurry photo of his left shoe when the lighting was good. He was only private when Nora would be readable. And there was one person Nora kept pretending not to think about: Sienna, Grant's ex. Sienna still followed half of Grant's friends. She still liked old vacation photos from mutual accounts. Every few weeks, she changed her bio into something that felt vague enough to deny and specific enough to bother Nora. Nora hated that she noticed. She also hated that Grant always seemed to notice Sienna noticing. The date night story happened on a Thursday. Grant had taken Nora to a small restaurant with red booths and tiny lamps on the tables. It was the kind of place that made a normal dinner feel like a soft launch, even if nobody said those words. Nora took one photo while Grant was outside taking a call. 2 drinks, 1 empty chair, a corner of his jacket on the back of it. She did not tag him. She did not write his name. She just posted it with one line: "Finally made it here." Grant came back, saw the story, and smiled in a way that was almost a wince. "You posted?" Nora said, "It's a chair." He said, "I know, I just don't want drama." That sentence sat between them for the rest of dinner. Not privacy, drama. After she got home, Nora did what people do when they are trying not to do the thing they are absolutely doing. She opened Instagram. She checked story views. Nothing obvious, no Sienna, no weird account, no dramatic follow request. So she told herself to sleep. Then she checked the profile visit times she had been tracking because she wanted to know whether her account was getting unusual attention after relationship posts. There it was. 10:42, 10:48, 10:53. 3 visits clustered right after the story went up and right after Grant texted, "Please don't make this a thing." Again, that does not prove who visited. It does not prove Sienna saw it. It does not even prove Grant had anything to do with it. But it was not the first time the timing had moved around Nora becoming visible. 2 weeks earlier, Nora had changed her profile photo to one from Grant's kitchen. Nothing romantic, just her in a sweater sitting by the window. Grant had asked if she could use another photo because people might recognize the place. That night, the profile visit times clustered again. 11:06, 11:12, 11:19. Nora had ignored it because one pattern can still be anxiety wearing a nice outfit, but the empty chair made it harder to dismiss. The next morning, Nora sent screenshots to Maya, her friend who had a gift for being both loyal and deeply annoying. Maya did not say, "That's definitely his ex." She did not say, "You caught them." She said, "Put it in order." So they laid it out in Synapse AI like a timeline, not a trial. Story posted at 9:58. Grant notices at 10:03. Grant texts about drama at 10:17. Profile visit cluster starts at 10:42. Previous kitchen photo cluster happened after another public relationship clue. The point was not to find a name and turn it into a weapon. The point was to stop Nora from floating in a fog where every small thing felt equally suspicious. Synapse AI made the pattern boring enough to look at. That helped, because when something is only in your head, it grows teeth. When it is on a timeline, you can ask better questions. Maya asked the first one, "What changed right before the visits?" Nora said, "The chair." Maya said, "No, you being visible." That was the part Nora did not want to say out loud. The empty chair was not the problem. The problem was that Grant treated public evidence of Nora like a lit match. Then, the second clue happened. Nora was angry enough to be petty, but not angry enough to start a fight. So she did something small. She added the empty chair photo to a highlight called Nights. No tag, no face, still just the chair. It stayed there for 20 minutes. Then she removed it because she felt embarrassed by her own experiment. At 8:31 that morning, the highlight changed. At 8:43, another profile visit. At 8:51, another one. At 9:02, one more. Maya texted, "Again, not proof, but I don't like the rhythm." Nora didn't either. At lunch, Sienna changed her Instagram bio. 3 words, "Save me a seat." Nora stared at it until the words stopped looking like words. It could have meant anything. It could have been a song lyric. It could have been a joke. It could have been about a friend, a dinner, a movie, a random thought that had nothing to do with Nora. That is the annoying thing about public signals. They are rarely clean. They give you enough to wonder, not enough to convict. But Nora noticed something important. She was no longer asking, "Did Sienna see my story?" She was asking, "Why does my boyfriend's ex have this much power over whether I can exist in my own relationship?" That question was worse. And better, because it was finally answerable. That night, Grant came over with takeout and acted normal. Too normal. Nora waited until they had eaten, until the room was quiet, until she knew she was calm enough not to make it about one bio line. Then she said, "I need to ask you something directly." Grant put his fork down. Nora said, "Are you keeping our relationship private because that's who you are, or because you don't want Sienna to react?" Grant blinked once. That was the first answer. Then he said, "It's complicated." That was the second answer. Nora did not mention Synapse AI. She did not show him the timeline. She did not accuse him of sending screenshots or feeding information to his ex, because she did not know that. She stayed with what she did know. When I post anything that makes us visible, you get tense. When your ex reacts to things around us, you call it drama. But somehow the solution is always for me to be smaller. Grant rubbed his face and said he did not want to hurt anyone.